So the next title of the talk will be called Challenges of Iron Swords, Lotem Unit, the digital and data unit of the IDF. And who more than the head of the unit, BG Yael Grosman, will be the one that will share with us these thoughts and these lessons learned. So please, Yael, the stage is yours. Thank you for coming.
Good afternoon, everyone, and I was already introduced, so I will just say that Lotem again is the IDF Digital and Data Unit, and with that, I will move forward, hopefully, in some way. Okay, so what is our mission? I'll start with the fact that our mission is to connect the IDF to a knowledge-based digital and data-based future and, of course, present. And to do that, we start with the beginning. And our fundamental infrastructure relates to the digital domain. So in opposed to air, sea, land, which are natural dimensions, the digital domain is something which has been established by humans. And in order to have a digital domain, we need to establish that. How do we do that? We start with our capabilities and infrastructure from the communication, moving to the mobile, different, various infrastructure, the clouds, and of course the data centers. So this will be the first level of the building. The second parts will relate to our data factories. And with that I will say that since we are the second largest enterprise in Israel, the first one is the education ministry, we hold many people. And when I relate to Iron Swords, I would say that after something like a week, we have been grown with 3 times the IDF as of the 7th of October or as of the 6th of October. And with that, we needed to build something which is a smart digital organization. The components were already there, and obviously we needed to scale them up in order to be able to obtain the enterprise as it has been grown over the few days. Moving to the second part is the operational NCW, so the network-centric warfare. The network-centric warfare is something that we need to obtain, and with that we have different apps and of course different capabilities which enables the different forces to fight over the digital domain. But in order to have both of them, as we move forward to being more and more digitized, we obviously need to defend our assets. And with that, we see the cybersecurity, which holds everything from the infrastructure to the apps and, of course, the data warehouses. And we need to be able to make sure that each byte or bit moves from one direction to the second direction, from A to B, in the right way. So we need to monitor all of the data in order to make sure that the right data reaches to its destination. This is, about machines, about capabilities, but in order to have all of these capabilities, there are 3 more things. First of all, culture. You can have the best strategy, but as you know, culture eats strategy to breakfast, and therefore we need to have the right culture, and we are holding a DevSecOps culture, and it looks over the full responsibility in order to make sure that everything is actually working. And besides that, we need to have the right people. And since we are now in the Tel Aviv University, the university that I've studied in, I would say that we are growing our people, starting with the schools, all of the trainings. We are holding the software and data training for all of the IDF. And with that, we are able to grow the right people throughout all the way and with the right values. And the last part, which is also stated in this presentation, is our movement to the south. In less than a year from now, we are going to move all of the technological units of Lotem and more to the campus in Beersheba. So these are 3 extra pillars which enables us to take everything forward, scalable, robust, and of course, knowledge-based. So, Yuda was before me from the DDR&D, and he talked about the iron swords from the perspective of AI, data, and digital. I would say that this was definitely the first digital warfare. But it started as we were requested to rebuild the infrastructure, especially on the southern border. So this is something that we were requested to do and move forward with that, with the maneuvering of the different forces within the Gaza Strip and of course later on in the north. But also we needed to be prepared to have a rescale of the infrastructure, since we had more and more data from video, from different other capabilities, and this was the first part of the war. So having the digital domain, being able to restore whatever was damaged at the beginning, especially from the point of the infrastructure, and then being able to rescale it and robust it from the perspective of more and more data in order to be able to provide the different forces work through a knowledge-based capability. Now I'm moving to some of the examples. So I think the most easy way to understand and to be able to take operational decisions is usually based on having a map, and over the map having different layers which will enable us to understand the different situations in which we are. So this platform, and of course you are seeing the non-classified part of the platform, is a mapping-based platform over which we can provide different data layers for whatever is required. For example, for the strength of the buildings, if we want to provide the forces to enter different buildings. Or for example, with different intel and knowledge-based, in order to make sure that the forces are not operating wherever they are not needed to be operated. And so on and so on. And this is, of course, being handled from the perspective of classifications, because whatever you don't need to see, you will not be able to see. So this is the first digital mapping platform which was provided to the forces and, of course, for the headquarters. When we look on the attack recommendations, we usually want to make it as effective as possible. So what you see here is, of course, the ability to understand where did the missiles were shot from, and then recommend the different forces, especially the Air Force, which areas should be attacked. And of course, all of that is handled and based on the data which is stored in the different systems. Another example, we look on the low-level airspaces, or as you know it, the drones. This is still, and we had another example yesterday. This is still a major issue, something that we are still unable to resolve completely. But the thing is that when you look on the warfare platform, we have different drones, our own and the enemy's. So this part was an ability to classify the different drones and then to be able to inform the forces either from the land perspective or from the air perspective in order to understand are they on danger, or how do we handle the different drones, not in a way that will, of course, damage our own, but definitely work against the forces in the field. This is something that you all know. The Homefront command is one of our users. And of course, with that, we are able to inform the different citizens, wherever they are they on danger? We had different changes on this platform throughout those last 14 months. And I think the main thing is that we are very accurate on the way that we are able to inform the people how to be safe from the different threats. So this is something that was enable us to have a differential alert in your handheld phone. New capabilities will be established in the next few weeks. Talking about recruiting the reserves and the ability to scale up in several weeks. So I think one of the most important things that happened from the 7th of October was the fact that we were able to work with the reserves, and the fact that we were able to multiply by 3 the amount of people needed to be taken care of from the system's point of view, but also the way that we call the reserves was based on one of our systems. And again, looking at an enterprise which needs to handle many, many people, the ability to do it with digital systems is, of course, an essential need for everyone. This is also something that you're probably familiar with. The 7th of October made us work with the need to detect and to be able to understand what is the situation regarding the slain detection. This was something that was based on the data warehouse of many, many years ago in our data center. Being able to have mobile capabilities in the warfield, being able to have many AI solutions in order to make the identification accurate, because you probably understand the meaning of a mistake from this point of view. And obviously taking the mobile, the cloud, the AI and the data warehouse enabled us to have I would say a quick slain detection from the perspective of the first few weeks. This is something that, of course, we have never met before, especially not after Yom Kippur. One of the main things that I would say is part of the digital revolution in the battlefield is our mobile solutions. So when you look on whatever is happening out there, so Steve Jobs basically invented the first iPhone, and you would say, wow, this is something that was supposed to happen everywhere, especially here in Israel. I think the first time that we really moved forward to having 360 mobile capabilities in the battlefield was throughout this war by 3 things. First of all, having the cellular domain, because we are the largest cellular MVNO provider in Israel, working with the different cellular companies. Second of all, because we had a huge change of how do we basically program our apps into being mobile native. So many apps were presented in the mobile phones. And with that, I would say that many capabilities which are handheld and different capabilities which were connected to the headquarters were provided in the battlefield, and this made us provide more and more data and knowledge systems wherever it was required in the different areas. So obviously, friction produces more and more data. This is something that we are familiar with, and it has happened in a scalable way throughout the 14 months that we have been through. Combining that into the data stores and the data warehouses, and with that, building the different data engineering capabilities from the perspective of text, of video, images, and of course audio, provides us with the ability to have the beginning of multimodal capabilities that we put in the operational data warehouse. And that is also, of course, provided over our private operational cloud. And with that, we are now more and more taking decisions based on AI insights and, of course, knowledge. So, as you probably know, digital transformation is not a destination, it's a journey. We are very much in this journey, and this journey have expedited throughout this 14 months. And you can see on this map the stages that have been taking place throughout the last 5 and 6 years. We're moving forward to a data-driven decision based on AI and, of course, Gen AI. And when I conclude this presentation, I would say that we can look through 3 major things that are part of the revolution throughout the Iron Swords War. The first thing would be the ability to provide mobile solutions everywhere, not only with the iPhones, but also with the fact that we have established the mobile domain in the battlefield. The second part would be the ability to provide something which is explainable over a digital map with the different data layers. And the third part would be the fact that we were required to provide mega digital solutions throughout the differential alert, throughout the need to handle the reserves, and of course the detection of the slains. So with that, I will say thank you, and I would say that you're having a very interesting conference with a relation to data, AI, and of course the connectivity with the Iron Swords. So thank you for your time, and have a nice day.